Hello, this is Tom Chambers for PokerSavvy.com. This is the first in an 8-video PLO Theory Fundamentals series. This first video is basically an introduction. It's going to cover 6 core PLO concepts. It's going to be, to some extent, an overview of a few different things that will be going on, talked about throughout the rest of the series, and it's also sort of the, if I were given, I'm not sure exactly how long this will take, half an hour, 45 minutes, to teach somebody in one shot as much as I could about Omaha before they went in to play a game for the first time. This is what I would teach them. So there's a lot more detail that we'll get into in later videos, and I'm about to click to a slide that has the breakdown of what the series will show. We've got the core PLO concepts video number 1, then we're going to do starting hands in lesson 2. The order of these may change, and I'll say something about that once they're all listed here, but for now I'm planning on doing a basic PLO math, so looking at equity calculations and the different types of wraps that are possible and so forth. In lesson 3, looking at a game theory lesson, which will be somewhat an overall introduction to game theory, which is something that I want to do, but also we'll be using specifically PLO examples. Flop texture flop play, lesson 5, turn play, lesson 6. So obviously in the flop play we'll be talking about continuation betting and sort of how flop play, how flop decisions set up later streets and what to do facing continuation bets, all that standard stuff. Turn play, we're going to be talking about double barreling and sort of what to do after you floated the flop. Semi-bluffing, value betting, how strong of hands you need to be sort of setting up, shoving stacks on the river. What, ideally, having talked about the game theory stuff, we would also have some sort of more of a sense of how ranges get built over multiple streets and what the impact of bluffing and semi-bluffing over multiple streets is. That's why it makes sense in at least one presentation of the material to do it in this order. And this is actually, this series that I'm putting together is based off of my theory coaching program and also to some extent on the theory book that I'm putting together, although there's a good bit more material in that than is in this video, in this series of videos. But the structure is very similar, and my rationale for putting the game theory and math stuff, sort of some of the more fundamentals first, is that it gives you the material that you need to do, that you need to have in order to make the right sort of have the right interpretation of the situations that you're facing when you're making flop, turn, and river decisions. So I'm going to have to make a judgment, and I guess with the help of you guys who are watching this series and are interested in what order the things come out in, had to make a judgment about how important it is, if I'm going to be doing 1 or maybe 2 of these a month, how important it is to sort of get to the stuff that is most most directly going to be giving you information about how to play, as opposed to giving you sort of a couple of lessons, lessons 3 and 4 of sort of fundamental stuff that will then sort of make that stuff easier to understand.